anti-Israel protesters gathered outside Montreal City Hall to pressure the city into recognizing a so-called genocide in Gaza, and among them was CAIR, an Islamic organization allegedly linked to foreign funding in the US.
Are you from CAIR?
America.
Yeah, you're from CAIR America.
Yeah.
Hey!
Everybody with a press pass is inside. You are not, because you're a grifter.
C'est quand que vous allez intervenir? Alors que là, je vais me faire vraiment agresser?
Est-ce que tu veux te faire agresser? Take back your country. Take back your city. Take back your province. The hate that you see is nothing but a spawn from social liberalism that has done horrible things to Canada.
Alexandra Bois for Rebel News, and last Monday, Montreal City Hall debated a resolution introduced by Projet Montréal, the opposition party, calling on the city to recognize and denounce what it describes as an apartheid regime in Palestine and a genocide in Gaza, while also calling for Montreal to sever ties with Israel. The Jewish, Greek, and Italian communities joined forces to condemn the motion, especially at a time when Montreal is already deeply divided. Since October 7, anti-Semitic incidents have skyrocketed, while aggressive and hateful anti-Israel demonstrations continue to take place in the city. Now, just before the debate, Montreal's mayor made one point that was absolutely right. It is not the role of the city of Montreal to take a position on a foreign conflict.
We are not a government of a national perspective of foreign affairs. That is not our role.
And really, could that be any more obvious? Montreal is dealing with a homelessness crisis. Public safety is becoming a growing concern. Infrastructure is falling apart, and some of our roads look like Swiss cheese. Yet, somehow, City Hall found the time to debate a foreign conflict over which Montreal has absolutely no power. What it can do, however, it creates even more tension here at home. I was on the ground as a large anti-Israel protest gathered outside City Hall. Because the room inside had already reached capacity, many protesters remained outside, occupying the street and gathering around the entrance. I documented what was happening and tried to speak with people in the crowd despite the hostility and aggression from some anti-Israel protesters.
That resolutions of this nature attempt to self-empower the haters to have a legal backdrop to convey their hate throughout the city. Here's what I'm going to tell you. The city of Montreal has legal responsibility to its citizens, has responsibility to people in this province, and it is not showing any responsibility. Governance is about making the hard decisions. In law, they're going to be considered to be wrong. When you promote hate through those types of resolutions, what it does is creates a backdrop for continued civil disobedience and violence on our streets in Montreal, and I reject it, and you should reject it, because impairment is a sickness, and it needs to be corrected, but not by what you see over here. What you see over here is the result of not saying enough is enough is enough.
I think it reflects a desire to look as far away from the awful job that Projet Montréal, and to a certain extent Ensemble Montréal, have done in our streets.
I think it's a sick resolution, and the person that brought it up is a sick person full of hate, because there was not any international court that accepted that Israel did genocide. And all what this person, I cannot mention his name, is trying to get votes and to divide the people in Montreal.
Qu'est-ce que vous pensez de la résolution?
La résolution, c'est que là, ça va être l'occasion que Soraya montre c'est qui vote. Est-ce qu'elle a voté pour, est-ce qu'elle a été élue par le peuple ou est-ce qu'elle a été élue par les lobbyistes solistes? C'est ça qu'on va voir. Parce qu'il y a un génocide, il n'y a rien de à dire.
Everybody with a press pass is inside. You are not because you're a grifter.
Can you actually tell me what do you think about the resolution?
You get paid to whitewash Israel. If you were a real journalist, you would be inside already. She is not a journalist.
People just a half a kilometer from here are sleeping on the streets, have no food, but they're spending their time over there to talk about things that are not impactful in Montreal. The city of Montreal is derelict. The mayor is derelict. And here's a message for all your listeners. Take back your country. Take back your city. Take back your province. The hate that you see is nothing but a spawn from social liberalism that has done horrible things to Canada. This resolution isn't about you or I. It's about them and their need to be involved with things that don't help us as citizens.
Hey!
No, just stay the fuck
I
away from my face.
received that flag on my head. This is an assault, okay?
No.
If you're not stopping now, I'm going to get the policeman. Non, en ce moment, je l'ai fait pour que ça arrive.
Ils sont là, vous êtes là.
Oh oui, ils sont là, ils sont tous en train de m'enfermer. C'est normal pour vous.
C'est normal.
C'est normal pour vous.
C'est pas votre premier rodéo.
C'est quand que vous allez intervenir? Alors que là, je vais me faire vraiment agresser.
Est-ce que tu veux te faire agresser?
Non, moi, je vais être ici pour couvrir l'événement avec les personnes qui sont ici.
Pas ici, il y a tellement de place pour tout le monde.
Donc, eux, ils ont le droit de prendre toute la place, de pousser les gens. Donc, ils ont plus de droits que les autres personnes. La communauté juive aussi, ils n'ont pas le droit d'être ici. Vous êtes ici en tant que citoyenne, vous êtes ici pour la résolution. Puis là, on vous encercle.
Là, je ne peux même pas entrer. La salle est pleine, paraît-il. Juste traverser ici. Si je sors mon étoile de David, ils vont me sauter dessus. Alors, c'est pour ça que je ne me sens pas en sécurité. Et je suis venue spécifiquement pour ça. Parce qu'on sent qu'on n'est pas en sécurité en tant que juif ici.
La communauté juive a peur que ça augmente l'antisémitisme. Qu'est-ce que vous pensez de ça?
L'antisémitisme, c'est pas parce qu'on a dénoncé un génocide que c'est l'antisémitisme. Là, vous mélangez tout. D'accord?
I ever talked about
Everybody will
Israel in
talk
my
to you.
report.
I don't know what you're talking about because you're not a journalist. Get
I
it?
never
You're not a
talked about
journalist.
Israel
So what do you want
and
to
what is happening
You just
over
said
there.
you talk about both sides.
I'm talking about what is happening in Montreal.
In Montreal, what's happening? The money of Montreal is paying you to whitewash Israel. So we want
We
to
don't
stop
receive
that.
any money from government. What are you talking about?
The entire city gets paid by Zionist lobbying.
It will cause more hate against Jews. Already there are people all over the world that know Montreal and Toronto are the worst of anti-Semitism. And just yesterday I met some people from Boston and they say, oh, we heard what's going in Montreal, it's terrible. So it's going to cause a bigger problem. It's going to bring Montreal into a dark city full of hate.
C'est très grave. Je pense qu'encore plus, la population juive va se sentir menacée. On est déjà menacé. Il y a de plus en plus d'antisémites. Et c'est ce qu'on sent. On est entouré. Ils cherchent à nous intimider. Moi, ils n'intimident pas.
Are you a COVID freak or it's because you want to hide your identity? Okay. Oh, you're the only one acting like that.
Always the same question.
Acting like a child.
La même chose, toujours.
Who tell you to talk like that? Your dad and your mom? You should go and see your mom. Oh, now I understand. It's your kid.
Ils veulent nous intimider. Ça n'a pas de sens.
Merci beaucoup, madame.
Avec la Palestine, solidarité. Avec la Palestine.
Hi, come on. What is that? What is that?
One one man appeared to be extensively photographing and recording what was happening. On his shirt were the letters CAIR, the Council on American Islamic Relations. I couldn't believe it, so I went over to speak with him.
Bonjour, monsieur. Est-ce que vous êtes de CAIR?
Pardon me?
Are you from CAIR?
America.
Yeah, you're from CAIR America.
Yes.
You're here for what is happening today?
I actually grew up in Montreal.
Okay.
So I was here on vacation and I thought I would just come down and see what was going on since I heard about it in the news.
And what do you think about the resolution?
I think it's wonderful. I think that more cities in North America should definitely pass such resolutions because it means that people of conscience are seeing what's going on and they're opposed to it.
Do you think it's the duty of Montreal to meddle in foreign affairs?
I don't think it's called meddling. I think it's saying that we all have a responsibility as human beings to look out for one another, to call genocide what it is, and so it's not meddling at all. We are inextricably connected to Israel. We send our money there through our pension funds, and therefore we have a right to say that we shouldn't be investing in that nation and that we should oppose genocide where it exists.
Are you aware that in Montreal, anti-Semitism is skyrocketing at this moment? Do you think this will fuel more anti-Semitism?
Well, I think anti-Muslim racism is also skyrocketing because of the activities that are going on in the Middle East, not only in Gaza, but in Lebanon and Syria and other places. Secondly, I think a lot of what is called anti-Semitism is actually mislabeled. It's really anti-Israelism. And so I think that there's a fine line, and we have to be able to criticize Israel without being called anti-Semitic.
When you're shooting at a Jewish school, do you call this anti-Zionism?
I believe that no school, whether it's a Muslim school or a Jewish school or a Christian school, should be targeted. However, if those facilities are being used to sell properties, then simply protesting in front of a school is not something that I would call anti-Semitic. On the other hand, if people are putting graffiti on the schools or somehow targeting it because it's simply Jewish, then I would have an objection to that as well.
I started digging and I identified him as the chairman of CAIR Connecticut, an American Islamic advocacy organization that has faced years of controversy and allegations from critics regarding links involving individuals associated with the Muslim Brotherhood and Hamas. Then I found something else. On his public Facebook page, I found a photo of him and Navaid Aziz, one of the speakers at the major Islamic convention held in Montreal. At the convention, Aziz spoke about building wealth within the Muslim community and creating what he described as a circular economy, arguing that economic power could ultimately be used to pressure governments. So now there is a legitimate question that deserves an answer. Why was the chairman of an American CAIR chapter present outside Montreal City Hall during a highly contentious municipal debate about Israel and Gaza? Was he simply attending and documenting the protests? Or was an American political advocacy organization attempting to influence a political debate here in Canada?
Today, the Greek community, the Italian community, and most of the Jewish community oppose this resolution.
Well, I don't think that's true. I think that certainly there are certain spokespeople who are pro-Zionist that are loud and are called on by the media. But just like in the United States, I think the vast majority of Jewish people actually think that what's going on in Gaza is a genocide and is counter to the values and beliefs of Judaism itself.
Do you believe that Jewish have the rights to have their own land?
Of course, I think that Jewish people, every people, have a right to land, but at the same time, they cannot dispossess people of their land.
So you know that by saying that you are a Zionist yourself?
I don't even consider myself a Zionist. I would consider myself someone who's in favor of everybody being able to live wherever they want to live, as long as they respect the rights of other people.
Yeah, but you say that is anti-Zionism, your movement, but you just describe yourself as someone who is a Zionist by default.
The problem with Israel is that its founders said in their documents that they need to get rid of the Arab people in the land that they want to create Israel.
Hamas charter is actually saying to destroy and to eliminate the Jewish people.
I don't think Hamas's charter says to eliminate the Jewish people. I think the Hamas charter says it wants to eliminate a polity, a political entity called Israel, because it's in fact committed ethnic cleansing and genocide.
What are you doing with the people living in those lands?
What are you going to do?
What are you going to do with the people living in Israel then?
I think there's going to have to be some Truth and Reconciliation Commission established so that they can figure out how to live peacefully with each other. I think that I'm not Palestinian. I don't want to speak for Palestinians, but as someone who's an independent observer, I think that they need to figure out what wrongs they committed against each other and have a Truth and Reconciliation Commission.
In the end, several amendments were made. The words genocide and apartheid, along with the call to sever ties with Israel, were removed. The amended motion ultimately passed 54-6.
La motion devait être passée le mois dernier et au dernier moment ils se sont retirés et depuis ils délibèrent sur la motion, comment elle doit être formulée. Et donc ils ont passé des heures et des heures et des heures au lieu de s'occuper de Montréal à faire formuler une motion qui ne tient à rien. Et qu'est-ce qu'on a à faire avec un truc qui se passe il y a 6000 lieues d'ici et on est à Montréal, on essaye de vivre dans une cité, on espère sécuritaire, mais qui est en train de se désingréter. Et c'est dommage, c'est dommage parce qu'on veut rester à Montréal, on veut être bien, on veut être en sécurité, on veut pouvoir marcher à 3h du matin dans la rue comme on le faisait avant, mais c'est plus le cas.
I hope you appreciate this report. It was Alexa for Rebel News. At Rebel News, we started a petition at Pro-Hamas.com because we believe that if you are here and you're not a Canadian citizen, but you're involved in those hate march and you are chanting anti-Semitic slogans and you are harassing people, you should be deported back in your country. Go and sign the petition at Pro-Hamas.com right now.